everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sis Let's Talk. My name is Whitaker-Moore, and I am one of four of your hosts on this podcast. We're going to go around the room and meet the rest of our hostesses on today. We're going to start over here to my immediate right, and we're going to go ahead and go on around. What's up?
Hi, how are y'all?
Tell them who you are, sister.
I'm Tammy.
Trinitee.
I'm Kaylyn.
And last week, that was T-Money in K the Stallion. So we're going to go ahead and keep it moving.
Still T-Money.
As such. Today, as on the last episode, we left a little bit of what we're going to be talking about on today. My sister and I, Tammy and I, we grew up with our father. He was in the home. He was definitely the disciplinarian of the situation between my mom and him. Our growing up, honestly, we had both parents, and our parents showed us love. We knew we were loved. We did all of the things. And so we know what that looks like, what that feels like, and what we are today because of having a father in the home. Opposed to Trinitee, or AKA T-Money and K the Stallion, they do have fathers. They were present, but they were not in the home or present at all times. So they knew who they were. They saw them. They spent a little time with them every now and again. But honestly, we're going to compare and see how that goes or how that went, because they are now 24 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to talk about it. I know, right? When she said that, I was like, good Lord.
I'm about to have a 30-year-old.
I know, right? And we're going to talk about that today. So hopefully you guys definitely enjoy the episode. Okay? All right. So let's get on down to the nitty gritty. So I want to say this. On our first Sis Let's Talk, we had some reels that went out, right? There were some on Instagram, TikTok, what have you. There was one comment, I can't remember which site it was made, but there was one comment where you were talking about you had 3 girls in the home, 3 different maturity levels, 3 different attitudes, and you raised your girls. Mm. There was a comment that said, no father, no hope, or something to that effect. Right. And so I saw that. And so because I said that I was going to stop looking at comments because, sometimes they could be a little bit negative, but that one kind of caught my eye, and I was like, what? And so I'm like, no father, no hope. Or it was something to that effect. So basically he was saying, there's no hope for the girls. They don't have a father in their life. So, I guess they're out here just doing whatever. But, and it made me think about this episode that we're talking about today, because just because there's not a father in the home does not mean that our girls or our children are not productive. They're not good children. They're not smart. They're not, they don't have great jobs, good educations, different things like that. So I think as single moms, we adjust. And even though we can't teach them the male side of it, and I can't teach my boys how to be men, I still have good kids. They still get in trouble.
Yes.
With, you know what I'm saying? They do things that they want to do, but we still have good children.
Yes.
Productive children. Children that go to school, medical world, military, working, job, school, all the things. So, it kind of, I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about?
You have to look at that as like the unknown.
Yeah.
He definitely does not know.
No, he don't know
or have
us.
not experienced
for
anything.
sure.
So maybe we're just going to say that he accidentally put that in there because, there is hope.
Yeah.
As long as you have God, there is definitely hope.
For sure. Like God first always, and then honestly, you got a good support system regardless. And I don't think I know that you and I had a really good support system when we had our children. Regardless if the fathers were there helping, doing all the things, we still had a good support system. We had each other, we had our mom, we had our dad, and they would always help us.
Yeah, uncles.
Yeah,
for
sure.
We had a big family, so it was a village. We still have a village today.
Yeah,
so,
we do. So we know how we grew up. We know the end product of who we are because we had our dad there. Let's talk about y'all. Because the last conversation we had, you were like, I'm kind of jealous or envious that you guys did have your father in the home.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Well, I said that because I don't know what it feels like to have my father in my home.
Right.
Would I have loved to experience that? Yes. But I just grow as I'm growing as an adult, I just kind of think about what if, then
Mhm.
I kind of just get past it as well.
Got
So
you.
yeah, I am jealous. So no.
Yeah. What about you, Trent?
I envy the fact that y'all did grow up with y'all father. Growing up, I did want my dad to be there all the time, but things just happen. But I said to myself, I'll make it different for the kids, my kids. When I start to have kids, I want their father to be present. I want mama to marry, and yeah,
I got you.
I just want to be. I want it to be different for when I have kids and stuff.
I got it. So, do you think that having a father in the home, honestly, because my dad taught me how to change a tire.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me how to drive a stick, a standard. He taught us how to drive. He did all the things that our father should do, disciplinary and girl, don't even look over there. No, not that boy. Absolutely not. No boys, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So our dad was definitely very much so present, and his opinions mattered to us until you got to a certain age. And honestly, and then at that point, he had the fear of Jesus in us. So you either did it and didn't get caught, or you got caught and you knew you were going to die. You were going to be inches from death. So it was just, that part of life for us. And then the fact that even growing up in the house with daddy, you knew expectations. You knew what being in a relationship, if you ever got to be in one, what that was supposed to be like. Now, we're not saying that, when we were growing up, that everything was like roses and, happy and cream. And is it peachy king or peachy cream? I don't know which one it is.
One of those.
But but he was definitely present. And he was there and very much so involved in us, raising us, and different things like that. So sometimes we probably wish that we didn't have a dad in the home. You know what I mean? Because I remember this one particular time. Somebody decided they were going to run away to our great grandma's house.
Baby.
And she got her little butt tanned all the way back to the house. Okay. So I remember, so I'm sure at that point she was probably like, I wish we didn't even have a daddy, or whatever the case may be.
That sound like
Yeah, that was
Taylor?
me. That was me, and I got a whooping. I sure did. And
It was definitely her.
I thought it
I
was me.
did
I thought it
got a
was
whooping.
Mimi.
And when after I got the whooping and I came back to the kitchen table because we was having dinner,
Mhm.
I was like, I want to go to a foster home.
Oh,
He's like, baby, come on back in that room. I'm gonna show you where a foster home
Oh
is.
my
And
God.
yeah, so no, we learned not to talk like that. Baby, we was.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to one anymore. I just was mad. You know how kids are. I guess so.
Because Taylor pulled that same move. She want to go move with Mimi.
Oh, and everybody
She
else.
wasn't going.
Yes.
But I totally get that. But, honestly, growing up in a house with a strong male figure, as such as my father, it really taught us, or it made us look at things differently. I know for me. Now, it made me realize, honestly, this is the type of guy that you want in your life. This is the type of person that you want by your side. Because number one, there was nothing that we ever wanted. My father made us work for everything that we had, though. Honestly, he taught us that, and regardless if we had a job or not, he didn't make us pay bills. Did you even remember him making us? So at the age of 16, it was standard that you had a job. I know for me, it was. At the age of 16, we
was.
had to have a job. Everybody had to have a job. And then when you graduated from high school, you either had to go to the military or you had to go to school, but you were coming up out that house. And so that was definitely my father. And honestly, yes. And that is still daddy to this day. He would always tell us at the age of 24, I think it was 24, my father was married, and he had, my mom had my brother, our oldest brother, Joe. He was 7 or 6, and then a year later, here I was. They had a house. He was married. He had a good job at the age of 24. So he was young and doing big grown people things. You know what I'm saying? So his expectations from us was to be even better and to do bigger and better things. So growing up with a father in the home, honestly, you got all of that. You got, even though he didn't tell you that, like, I love you, he showed that he loved you in those ways. He was a disciplinarian for sure. But he also taught you things life lessons, like things that you wouldn't need to know, and what you will and will not tolerate at a young age. And a person, he was very much so our protector, and we knew that. But growing up in a home with primarily moms, Did you guys feel that way? Like I'm describing with my dad?
I don't know how to change a tire, look at the oil. I
Yeah.
don't know how to do none of that.
Me neither.
But that's not on you. We just didn't have that
I
fatherly
showed
role
them
there.
how to do
Yeah.
that, to change that kind of stuff, but they didn't pay attention because they would still call my dad or their dad to do whatever it is they needed to do.
Yeah.
So,
I'm calling somebody. Somebody finna change this tire.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. I just can't.
I totally understand that. So I think that my thing is, yes, we talk about the tires, and yes, we talk about what Dad definitely showed us, but lasting effects on you two, where we were different, totally different, opposed to y'all. Is there any lasting effects that y'all think that y'all have because there was no father in the home, or you saw your dad on weekends, maybe during the week, sometimes, whatever the case may be, birthdays, different things like that? You watch kids with fathers and moms in the home, people that you grew up with, people that you went to school with. Were you jealous of those relationships, or did you see anything different that they had that you wanted that you didn't currently have, having like a single mom or just like your mom in the home? Let's talk about those things.
Lasting effects, I don't know. Like, I'm still learning with each life situation
Yeah.
on whether or not if it affects me not like having my dad in the home. So sometimes yes, sometimes no, especially in relationships. Like sometimes it does hinder my relationships.
Yeah.
Because like
How much so? What are you talking about? Speak on that.
okay, so like with each relationship, I don't know like how a man is supposed to like treat me, love me, things like that. Like I just learn what I want and what I don't want in a
Right.
relationship. So like it's not like I grew up like a man is supposed to treat you this way. He's supposed to do this for you. He's supposed to love you this type of way. I didn't grow up with that.
So, hold on. I'm so sorry. Keep your thought in your head. It made me think about this. If that's the case, and then
Mhm.
if I were in a relationship or whatever the case may be, and
Mhm.
what you saw, was
Mhm.
that not what you saw? Like, if I were in a relationship?
I kind of like to speak on that.
Mhm.
Like, I think I kind of followed in your footsteps as
Gotcha.
to like not well in a good way, in a bad way.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
all relationships are not peaches and cream.
Right.
So I think that I followed in your footsteps when it came to relationships
Mhm.
because like that's just what I saw.
Right.
Whether it was someone treating you good, someone treating you bad, whatever the case may be,
Right.
right? I followed in that because that's what I knew from you.
Right.
I didn't know what a man was supposed to treat me like, right? Because of my dad.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's why I say I'm still like, as I'm getting older, I'm still learning, not because of what he didn't teach me, but because of what I don't want
Right.
in a relationship.
Got it.
So that's one of the lasting effects. Well, I wouldn't say a lasting effect or a forever effect because, you be like, no, I don't want this or no, I don't want that. So as each time or each relationship goes by, it's just like, okay, this is what I want in a man.
Right.
Right. So that's why I say like, it doesn't necessarily have a lasting effect, but I'm just still learning as each situation or each life situation comes about on whether or not it affected me or not.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect sense. Trinity, what about you? And what about in the decisions that you make as an adult right now? How does that affect you? Like being in the home primarily with your mom and seeing her go through relationships, different things like that. So, what do you think that you picked up? Good habits, bad habits, or what are you, indifferent? So let's talk about you.
I think for me, I'm the same as what Kaylin said. I'm
Mhm.
still kind of learning as I'm going in my
Mhm.
relationship now. I think since he wasn't present a lot of the times that sometimes I can be like an anxious thinker
Yeah.
and not expect, but I don't know because he comes from 2-parent household.
Mhm.
So he knows how I guess the roles are supposed to go.
Mhm.
And I just come from my mom, so I know how that role is just supposed to go. And
Mhm.
I think it's a learning for both of us. He's learning that the way I grew up with just my mom is different. And
Yeah.
then the way he grew up with both his parents, that's like a role that I have to start to learn to take on.
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say I'm just plain out just giving all just wifey, because I ain't doing
You're
that.
just
Right.
adjusting to
But
it.
like, yeah, I'm open to it and like I don't know. It's just a work in progress right now for me. I'm just learning. I don't think it's a lasting effect
Mm-hmm.
because I know I want to be with this person. This is who I want to line my future up with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just a learning for me right now on what I need to do, what I don't need to do, how I need to move, what I don't need to move, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm figuring that part, and that is the hardest part because I'm so independent. I want to do things on my own. I want to buy my own this. I don't want to have to worry about putting any financial or mental, emotional emotions on somebody else. I'm learning that it takes two
Yeah.
and
And
not
not
just
one.
one where you're in a relationship. So
Yeah.
I need to that was a thing for me when I was in Florida. I was like, I need this to pass the test. I need to do this job so I can start playing my part in
Yeah.
this house and bringing money in because that's how I grew up. I need to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't need to do that. Just calm down. I got this. I got us. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So it's still a learning
Yeah.
process for me.
I got you because I know that you see or y'all saw us in our survival mode.
Yeah.
You saw us like loving on y'all, but honestly, we out here in these streets really trying to survive. And if
Trying to
it
make
were
it,
not
baby.
for her, I know for me, for sure. I'm out here trying to survive, but yet and still as a mom, still trying to have a life, still trying to have relationships, still trying to raise my children because even as single moms, being strong single moms and out here in survival mode, you still want to be loved. You still want to be adored. You still want to be told that you're beautiful. You
'Cause
still
you're
want to be
still
this.
just a girl.
Yes, you are because you are still just a girl, but yet and still, sometimes the people that we want to tell us those things are not the people for us. So I know you guys saw bad things or, things like that didn't work out because they were not who we're supposed to be or with. And I feel sometimes that she's right. She has mirrored the old me, and I don't like it because I went through a lot of heartache. I went through a lot of dark days. I went through a lot of self doubt. I went through a lot of self esteem issues. I went through a lot of those things because I knew what a man was supposed to be because I watched my father. And like I said, all days were not great days at our house, but the majority of those things were good. You know what I'm saying? But when I thought I was grown and what I thought I wanted out here in these streets, I know what I wanted, but the people that I chose to give it to me were the wrong ones. And I feel as though sometimes we watch our parents or you watch us and we go through life and we feel how we feel. We love who we love. And I always tell people the heart can't help who and what it loves. So you love the people, but they're not the good. They're not the ones for you because they're taking you through all these changes and relationships are changes and you have to learn and you grow and you evolve. But sometimes when is enough enough? But you've been silent. Let's talk. Come on in here, girl. Let's
Well,
talk.
I was just gonna say the way we grew up about in church and
Yeah.
all the things we couldn't date. So
Yeah.
when we did get old enough
Yeah.
to be grown and leave home,
We pick trash.
and we were, as my brother say, we're women, so we're very emotional creatures. So we just met who we met or knew who we knew, and we felt comfortable with that person
Yeah.
at that time. And one thing led to another, and you had kids or whatever the situation might be. But um, we didn't really know either. We was out here lifing, thinking we was grown, doing
Yeah,
whatever we thought we
absolutely.
was gonna do, and
When was the
thinking,
first time you ever wore pants?
18,
yes,
98.
so
Tommy Hilfingers.
we had went to a summer program. Like back in the day when we were young, it was summer programs that we would go to. One of them was called YOU,
Yeah.
and I went to that program. You can work and you could
Go to school.
go to school, and you had your own little dorm that you were staying in. It was like being on your own. You could buy whatever you wanted. Went to the store, and we stayed for like 2 months. So I was working, getting paid, and we was getting ready to put on this little show, what kind of show would I
It was
say
a
it was?
talent
It was like a
show.
talent show, yes. And we had been practicing this song, and we had on these tight dresses, and I was like, you know what? let me buy me a pair of shorts. I'm
For
gonna put
real.
on me some shorts today, baby. Because
Our
I never
parents
had no
ain't
shorts
coming.
on, and we'll never see our parents. I was
real.
like,
They
they
ain't
ain't gonna be
coming.
here tonight.
Mm-mm.
Let me get me some shorts. So I got me some shorts, and we was on the stage, and first we was doing a little song. It was "Understanding" by Escape. So we had these tight dresses on, and we was singing, and we was
Keep in mind, I was not on there.
tapping and all that. And I was just like, oh, had on some shorts dancing. I look in the crowd, and I'm like, that's my daddy. Oh my God. Baby, I ran up out of there so fast. Went to my dorm room. I had this wrap skirt that it was blue and white polka dot, my favorite outfit. But I wouldn't do that outfit on, put that wrap skirt around me, act like I was never on that stage. Baby, my daddy was like, oh, this what you do? Is this what you do? When you away from home?
Oh my
It
God.
took my mom to talk to my daddy. He was getting ready to take me from that summer program and take me home. It was like, no, you're not gonna do that.
Jesus.
So I think I was about 16.
my
That was
gosh.
the very first time I put on some shorts. And I
Honey.
didn't put on any more till I was 18 years
And
old.
out
I
of
had
the
the
house.
fear in me. I was not putting on no more shorts.
We didn't, because that was what we did. You know, we grew up Kojic and we didn't wear pants, and so that was definitely where you guys were a little bit different. With how we raised you, we let you do things. We let you wear pants, do sports, all of the things, but we couldn't do those things, and so we were already being picked on. So that was another thing they were picking on us about. But honestly, I think, and I'm just being for real, people thought that we were a little slow, or guys did, because we wore the dresses. We were a little bit different. They knew we couldn't go anywhere. They knew we couldn't go
They knew we couldn't have
anywhere.
boyfriends. And I had got used to the fact that I was gonna be wearing dresses, so baby, I started wearing stockings. And look, we didn't have heels, but like clog heels with my little 2-piece jacket and skirts. I just started embracing it, baby. We was
Yeah.
wearing.
We definitely did. But that was one of the
So-
things that, I mean, was expected in our house with our father. We were raised with our dad, our mom. We grew up Kojic. And so that was a little bit different for us as well. But when we got out of school, that's when we fully embraced all the things that we did not know.
Yes.
We were super green out here in these streets, and we knew nothing.
Green.
And
With a capital
honestly,
G.
people could take advantage of us because we knew nothing. We didn't know about relationships because we were never in one. Now, there was this one little dude I say that I dated in high school. I didn't date that boy. You know why? Because we didn't go nowhere. Absolutely
Barely
nowhere.
talked on the phone.
That part. And we just saw each other at school. And I thought I was just so in love. But, he had another girlfriend. But she went places. She did whatever she wanted to do. I couldn't go anywhere. So I was that little at-home girl. I was that girlfriend that people go to or see at night or talk to at night because they knew I couldn't go out anywhere.
And
So-
then we 10 miles from town. So you got somewhere to go. Could nobody see you.
For real.
Down
So
there in
that
Vietnam.
was
Texas.
us. But y'all were a little bit different because I know me. I was like, I'm not gonna do my kids like that because there's so many things that you miss out on sometimes. Honestly, I was really good in volleyball. I was really good in track. I couldn't play sports. So who knows where I would have been. But those are, I'm not gonna say the pros and cons of having a dad opposed to not having a dad. That's just how we were raised. And so like she said, we embraced those types of things. And so, but when we got out of the house, we got buck wild. We really did.
We
Some of
see.
us started drinking.
Started having children.
Yeah.
So
3 of them at a time.
Oh, and we did. And so that's when, this is why we told ourselves that when we had our children, we were going to give y'all a little wiggle room. Because if you don't have wiggle room to grow and experience some of the things that we never did, you would get out here and do the same thing that we did. And that's not what I wanted.
I agree with her to a certain extent, but I ain't finna let you go too far. You know what I'm saying?
I just said a little wiggle room.
Mine is less than a little. Okay, 'Cause as she's been telling everybody, I'm a certified crash out, so you don't have that much space.
We can
Not
see
with me.
We know that she's a descendant of Ronnie.
Yeah, for sure.
because The way we grew up, we
Yeah.
were scared.
Yeah, I totally get it.
You were scared.
Yes.
Yeah,
We couldn't even say the word boo. She'd be like, "What you say?"
I did put the fear in their heart, when it came to certain things.
Mhm.
Just certain things I just wasn't going. And it's not because of my children. It was because of the people in our town
Yeah.
and the things that they would say. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to teach them everything because just cause somebody smiled at you or give you a hug or something like that, I don't know. I just wanted to teach them everything, let them know about everything, every little thing in town, and just but not too much.
I totally understand that. Because I know that even one thing that we do now that my grandfather, not grandfather, but daddy taught us, never sit in a guy's lap. I don't care how little you are, how big you are, don't ever do that. And so we are sticklers with that because you just really never know how people are. But honestly, I feel as if, and I feel like we're just going all over the place, honestly. But the conversation or the relationship or even the after effect of having a father in the home versus not having a father in the home, how you feel about those things, how sometimes we make those mistakes. Because if we're talking about that, I had a father in the home, Kaylin did not, but we still made the same mistakes. She is still mirrored like the same things that I have done. She's done the same things. And so I'll say, don't do that because you should do this, or you could do better, or whatever the case may be. Because I see me over here sitting in that seat, and that's not what I want her to do. But I had a daddy and a mama, and she had a mama, but we still did the same thing. So regardless if there's a mama or a dad in the house, or both, or just one, I don't believe what the guy said, like, no father, no hope. There is hope. There's things that you can do, but honestly, you tend to pick up traits from the people that you are around the most. So even if your dad was in the home, he could teach you things. He can show you things because our dad taught us. He taught us different things. He showed us different things. He told us what not to do, what to expect, what not to expect, in guys and different things like that. And sometimes we chose the very opposite of what he told us. You see what I'm saying? So, and he was there, right there. So who's to say, a father in the home versus a father not being in the home, that we would have turned out the same way? And we had a daddy. And we still went out here and did the things that we knew we shouldn't have been doing because we never experienced anything. And here we are. And then we had our 3 children, and then we decided to go back to school. And here y'all are, finishing school, doing all the things, somewhat the opposite of us, but yet and still, there's still things that you mimic from us. You see what I'm saying? So does it really matter if you had a dad? I think on some things it does.
Yeah, some things it still do.
Yeah, for sure. I really do. But I really think that we raised you as single moms the best way we knew how. We could not be that father, but yet and still, I think that we did the very best, but you still do what you want to do, regardless, because we are prime examples of what that looks like. Because if we listened to our dad, we would have been married, then had y'all.
Oh yeah, Papa.
You see what I'm saying? So things are a little bit different. Things are sometimes the same. The world will never stop. Everything just repeats itself, but yet and still, regardless if you have a father in the home or not, there's still hope. You can still do whatever you want to do because we are living proof of that. And that doesn't mean just because you didn't have them, that doesn't mean that you missed out on anything. Sometimes you do. You miss out on that, that love, that caring, and do you really care for me, and all of the things, because having that person that shows you love, regardless if they live in that house or not, like we were talking about Teo. Teo know he is loved by his daddy. He'll call his dad, Xavier. He'll call Xavier and he's like, hey dad, it's your son. And then he'll say, hey son, what's up? And they'll have that conversation. He's 4 and they already have a relationship just like that because he knows that his dad loves him. And regardless if he lives in a house or not, he still talks to his dad like all the time. So that's a relationship right there. He doesn't live there, but Teo knows that he is loved because they have conversations and they see each other on a regular basis. Also the same thing with Mav. I want my daddy, Auntie Rena. So it's just one of those types of things because he knows who his father is. He sees his dad. He spends time with his dad, but he doesn't live in a home. But his dad is teaching him. And honestly, him and Kaylin has to get together on how they need to proceed in teaching him and being on the same page. But he's not living there. I think we turned out okay with our dad. Y'all turned out really good with that one.
Yeah.
So even though sometimes people have issues or envious of different things, Sometimes it's okay. We just keep it moving. We don't hold it against anybody. We just do what we got to do. Come on, let's talk about it. Y'all, I'm the only one talking today. Y'all sleepy? Wake
It's
up.
crazy that you say that because, like, me and my dad, we have a to me, we have an okay relationship. Like, I wish it was better. It'll grow over time, whatever the case may be. But it's crazy because I wasn't scared to tell my mom that I was pregnant with Mateo. Like, I was like, oh, I'm finna tell my mom I'm pregnant. Like, I knew she wouldn't crash out, but I was really scared to tell my daddy.
Why?
Like, because I don't know, like, I just know how I feel like my daddy, he like a certified crash out on certain things. So I was really scared to tell my daddy. But it's like kind of flip-flop because when I was 18, I got my first minor in possession.
Mm-hmm.
We was at a football game and we got pulled over and I had an open container. Like we was drinking. Like first one, I think I was like 17. And I wasn't scared to tell my daddy, but I was scared to tell my mama.
So it depends on what the
What
situation,
the situation
is.
because my mama didn't knew I was drinking. My daddy knew I was drinking, like, but my mama did not. So I didn't call my mama. I didn't call my mama. I called my daddy first. And then I was like, please don't tell my mom. And then he called her and she called me. I'm like, you weren't even supposed to tell her. So it's like different situations is like.
Because we have to be the mean parents and the daddies
On
can be the
some
cool
things.
That's all I was about that. I think it's because the things we know won't get by with these two, we
Yeah.
know that they won't do nothing because what you gonna? Why would you try to whoop me? Like, you should
Yeah,
have been
that's
here.
exactly
You
what.
should have been here to teach me
my
this.
daddy,
Like,
he didn't like my mama didn't really whoop us either. Like, but my daddy, he did not. He was not the disciplinarian. Like, he did not do no type of like whooping. So, but I don't know really why I was scared to tell him I was pregnant. But I really was. Like, he was the last person to know. I think everybody knew but him. And he was upset that he was the last person to know. But I'm like, you a certified crash out when it comes to things like these. But I wasn't scared to my mama. I guess because we have that that open relationship to where we
That
talk
too.
about everything. You know what I'm saying? But me and my daddy, we talk about some things. My daddy like the type, he'll be mad because I don't got $20 on me. You know, he's that type of person. Like, you know, so sometimes it's just like, golly, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Their dad, he is one of those dads that like he'll talk to you about doing, like, for example, this tattoo that her first tattoo she got. He was like,
That her brother did.
yeah,
yes,
he
I
was
didn't
like,
care about
get
him
the
knowing.
tattoo, get the tattoo.
No, he didn't say that.
Oh, whatever the
He
case may be.
said, "Your mama gonna be mad at you." I said, "She
But
gonna be fine."
he didn't say like not for her not to get it. Like,
Right.
don't
Yeah.
get the tattoo. Your mom is not gonna.
He
It'll be
wasn't
fine.
staying hard. He didn't put his foot down and really tell me don't get it.
Right.
I was like,
That's how my
okay.
daddy was too. I got my tattoo and he was upset. Mama, boy, hold on, time.
No, I was the upset when he was cool with it. Like, it's okay for like their dad. They can do no wrong in front of him. They can probably drink, tattoos, do all the first things. But me, I'm just like, no, you can't do that. No, you
That
can't get a
just takes
tattoo.
me-
No.
But it's crazy that y'all
But
even
he's
say
like,
that.
okay, you can go ahead and do these things just so they won't be upset at him. But I'm gonna be the one that they're mad at, and I'm like, this, like,
And I tell you that all the time. We get upset with you because it's just easier to just get upset with you. I don't know why.
That's how we
Explain that.
That's
I
how
don't
we
get
were
that.
growing up too. I think it's because like growing up, we were around y'all all the time.
Mhm.
Literally.
You act
Like,
like that was a bad thing.
It wasn't a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
But did y'all get on my nerves? Yes.
Did y'all not get on our nerves?
Y'all
That's what I'm
had
saying. But
us.
y'all
yeah,
had
and then we
Yes,
didn't let
that's-
them make it
Thank
with nothing.
you.
Their
Like,
daddy
you're
let them
saying
make it with
what I
stuff.
need to
So,
But
say.
that's
of
because
course.
our daddy didn't live in the house. So
True.
being around y'all 24/7, 7 days a week, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did get on our nerves, and it's sometimes like, dang, daddy, come get us. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I feel like sometimes in different situations, he wouldn't be upset because like, what can you be upset for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's why I say like, and then being around y'all all the time too, and like our relationship is just like, y'all were the sole or like the primary caregiver, caretaker, and things like that. So I think it's automatically that we get mad at y'all before
Mhm.
we get mad. Like y'all could do the same thing. You and my
Mhm.
daddy could do the same thing, but I'm gonna get mad at you before I get mad at him
Right.
because I feel like he really like that's my daddy. Like, but you, my mama.
I feel like it's
Right.
expected with y'all versus with them.
It's
like,
not like no, it's expected with them,
yeah,
and it's not expected with y'all.
Got it. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's how y'all look at us like, Kaylyn, you're the oldest child. You should be setting an example for your brothers or this,
Right.
that, and that.
mhm.
I expected this from maybe Chris, but I'm not expecting this from you, Kaylyn, or
Right.
with you. I'm not expecting this with you, Trinity, but I definitely expect this from Taylor.
Right.
Or how Granny was with y'all.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
that
Like, y'all
it's
would get mad at
that.
our daddy, but Granny was she was
She
hindering us
totally
too.
flipped the script
Yeah.
at one point in her
She was
life.
letting
Baby,
us do what we want to.
some came unscrewed. And
Yeah,
so
because
we
when we started having children, it was okay for y'all to do. She would even do the things that we would be like,
what's
Granny,
wrong with
she
you?
she
was
would
the
let us
first one to
dye
get
our
my kids a
hair.
perm.
Perm,
Dye our, she would dye our hair.
Tattoos.
I got my first tattoo when I was 14,
Okay.
and Granny took me and she got one with me. That's my
Right.
dog.
I think Trinity got.
Baby,
It was this piercing because you was mad, but she was like, Tammy, she's 17. She'll be okay. No, it was a tattoo. It was a tattoo. She was the one who was vouching for me, and you was mad.
Mama was upset. I was 14 years old, y'all. No, 14 or 16? 16. I had just turned 16. And I told Mama, I was like, Mama, I want a tattoo. She was like, okay, well, you got to pay for your own tattoo.
she ain't had no money, no job, no nothing. So
But-
I'm like, I know she ain't gonna get no money.
part, same
But my daddy was paying child support. So that child support
Between
was my money.
Hold on. Make it plain. And we ain't gonna bash nobody, okay? There's 3 kids. 3 kids in the house.
I only needed $20.
Hold on. 3 kids in the house. You paying a little less than 200 or if that much for all 3. So they had to split that 3 ways. And honestly, it wasn't going on no tattoo. And I told her, no ma'am, no Sam,
But what was the
no
deal?
Pam. And I said, if you get your own money,
Mm-hmm.
not that child support money. If
That
you get
is my
No ma'am,
money.
no ma'am.
Ain't
If you
it?
get
Is
your
it my money or
own
not?
money,
Mm-mm.
and I let them have that money. I said, if you get your own money, like work for your own money, you go and get that tattoo. Number 1, I knew she wasn't gonna work because Kaylyn didn't want to work. Number 2,
I did have a job at 16, Mama. I was working at CC's.
You ain't got fired because your attitude.
Did nobody
Don't-
ask you all
don't do that.
But I had a job.
At that time you didn't. At that time she didn't. I told her if you had your own money, then you can get your tattoo. Number 1, I said that because I knew she had no money. And number 2, she didn't have a job at the time either. And number 3, well, nobody gonna give her any money for a tattoo. I thought because we were all the adults around. And
Except
so
Mary
next thing
Ann.
I know, she came home with a whole tattoo. Baby,
And your mama walked in too.
if crash out was a thing when she had that tattoo, that would have been me.
I was
Certified
there. I
cash
remember all
out.
of this. Like, it's
So
crazy.
at that time, if we were y'all age and getting tattoos or
We would have got
getting
our butts
piercings,
towed up.
that was unheard of.
That
What?
part.
Like, what are you talking about? A tattoo?
Mm-mm.
But we still playing with Barbie dolls and dressed down to the ankles. Like,
and
I'm,
then for y'all mom to do it, I guess that was really.
with our children, yeah, that was crazy. Like,
hey, that's Granny.
oh,
What?
you put a perm on her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she got some dye in her hair. Oh, she
Yeah,
got a
'cause
tattoo.
Gurney was the first person
Oh,
she let me
got
do.
a extra hole in her ear.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes, she did. That's what
Wow.
she did for me too. My second home.
I
was
got
like,
I
wow.
dyed my. She was the first person that dyed my hair. Let me dye my hair, and then she was also the first person to get a tattoo with. I was 16.
We
And we worried about
lived some life with Granny.
and we
didn't
worried
we?
about we over here having issues and situations because we're thinking they just going through the rigmarole because they don't have a father and they out here crashing out with Mary Ann.
Right. And baby, it's just totally different. I can't even just say what I want to say. I'm just
Girl,
like, it's
say it.
crazy.
I wanna
I
know.
came this close. And I do not disrespect my mom. Sometimes she makes me so mad and I be like, hey, go in there and sit down somewhere. But when I tell you that I came this close, and when I say this, I'm talking about a pin size close to certify, I mean, just for real crashing out on her. I was like, how are you going to take my 16-year-old daughter and get her tattoo? And then she's trying to explain that, well, the reason why she got the tattoos because I told her if she had her own money. You still didn't have your own money. Mama gave her the money.
Which made it her own.
See,
These
No.
kids find
You
a ways.
know what I
They
meant.
find a
Mama,
way.
You know
we
what I
find
meant.
Loopholes.
They
That's
find
what it's called.
ways
But
of
you
what
knew-
we tell
you knew
them to
exactly
do and
what I
not
meant.
to
But
do,
the thing
and they
about it
figure it
is-
out.
you didn't give me the $20. Either Granny or Daddy did. I don't know which one it came from, but I just know that.
But
didn't
I
give it
promise
to
you
me.
didn't tell him what it was for.
Who? Granny knew,
Yeah.
but he was upset.
No, he didn't know because
he
that's
didn't.
the type of games that y'all played and ringing
But
when
the-
y'all was with your granny. So
Yeah,
no,
but
he
it's
didn't
crazy
know.
because Mama was mad, and then my daddy was mad too. And then after that, I kept getting more and more. Mama, she was just like, you know what, forget it.
But it was like at 18, I think.
Yeah,
after
I
that.
think I got my second one at 18. But then I also paid for those. And then my daddy, I was 18 when I started getting more tattoos. And then Mom was like, "Well, you paid for it, you're 18," but my daddy was upset.
That goes
He
to show
was.
I looked up to you a lot because 16 I got mine, even when she told me no.
And I got my second hole too. And then at 18 or
I wasn't even tripping
17,
about a second hole.
I think Mama let me get my belly button pierced. My daddy was mad about that. And so it was crazy. And then my granny, she always say, she like, y'all remind me of Jackie Jean.
That's,
You know,
that's her excuse with everything we
everything.
do.
He was a
She remind
rebel.
me of
He was definitely a
Jackie
rebel.
Jean.
But see, honestly, y'all
Jezebel.
say, this is what's crazy to me,
Yeah.
and I'm realizing this now. Y'all say that it was difficult not, or you were jealous because you didn't have a father in the home. What did you miss? I mean, seriously.
I think
I think
life
it's
would have
just
been different
there.
a little bit.
How
It
would
was
life
just
been different for
there.
you?
I think
Oh.
just the presence of
Mhm.
us seeing our dad every single day and like the love shown between you guys. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
would have been different. I'm not going to say like I always had good days because my daddy wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So how do you think your life would have been different from what it is right now?
I personally right now is just relationship wise and maybe just a little more self-love. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to learn myself self-confidence. It wasn't like, oh, I know I'm cute. It wasn't always like that. I was
Right.
bullied, you know.
Mhm.
I didn't love myself. It wasn't until I got older until I realized myself,
Right.
I'm beautiful.
So just because your mom told you that you were beautiful, your aunt told you were beautiful, that didn't matter to you.
To me, I took it as if we just women. They just
Yeah,
gonna
and
say
y'all
that
are supposed
me.
to tell us
Yeah.
that because we are kids.
I can see that because that's what I told my mom.
Yeah, for
She
sure.
said me all the time, "You're so beautiful." I'm like, "Girl, you gotta say that because you're my mama." But
That's what I'm saying. But it's nothing like having a dad my dad being there 24/7, showing me what love's supposed to be like, showing me self-confidence, showing me how to do things. Not saying that he did not do that.
Right.
He just had his own way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I had to learn. I had to learn that. And that wasn't always easy. There was times I didn't like myself. And sometimes like even growing up, I think when I was maybe middle school, we was living with Granny and I had a diary. And I write in that diary every day and Granny found it. And I'm sorry, I might cry, but you know, she was just like, "You're beautiful," you know? And don't ever let nobody tell you you're not. Cause it was hard. Because like being the tallest person in the classroom, big lips, you know, it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
You know, having self-confidence. But now you can't tell me I ain't beautiful.
You hear me?
So I
Because
don't
they say
know.
clock it.
Yeah.
I totally
I
get
know.
that. I think we all went through that a little bit.
and another thing is, I just think we were there for y'all. We had to work, so when we did have to work, the person that we chose to leave y'all with was our mom. You know what I'm saying? We knew
We're
that
sorry.
y'all
No,
were
I'm just
gonna be
playing.
good with her, and she just wanted to be a lot of y'all's
You want to be
first.
cool
Friend.
granny.
Yeah.
She
Cool
wanted to be,
granny.
yeah, and the things that we would not go for, she would go for. And will we be mad? Yeah, we'll be mad for a little bit, but we'll be okay because that's our mama.
Yeah, for
I mean,
that's
she
sure.
how
did the
she
same
is
thing with my
today.
kids.
Yeah.
I tell Granny, don't do this with my kids, and baby, she don't care.
Granny gonna do what she want to do at the end of the day.
This is
Yeah.
true.
She gonna do what I want.
Did you ever have a
Regardless.
diary?
No, but I found one of Talia's, and I told her the same thing. The diary, I told her the same thing. She used to be mad in that diary, Talia.
Really?
I talked to her. I didn't have a diary. I keep all of my stuff in my head. I
Yeah.
felt like that too. I was like, I used to, about the dark skin when I was in middle school, people calling me dark. Us not having a lot of money and having like hand-me-downs or just stuff, my lips too.
It's
I
just stuff we
was-
don't talk about.
Yeah, I didn't talk about none of that stuff with mama. I was like, what is she gonna
I mean,
do?
because what are y'all gonna say? The same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all
Don't
are
talk about my baby.
beautiful.
Don't get to
But at the end of the day,
I
I had to go back to school. You wasn't there, so
Yeah, I get that too.
I don't know.
we just I just learned to deal with it as I got older. As I got older, I learned I'm still timid, don't like confrontation, but I'm not gonna let nobody bully me either.
Right.
So, and my confidence just kind of shot up as I just kind of, I think my senior year of high school, and just went on because my different situations I was in.
Yeah.
My confidence just went up.
I got you. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. There's nothing wrong with having confidence. And what I will say this, and I say this a lot, what goes around with y'all already went around with us. We got teased. We got bullied. I remember there's times you remember like living in Vietnam and Granny had that Shonda was living with her at one point. And so I was living in there with Granny. I wasn't living there, but I went to her house one day. She was babysitting us. And I was just like, I hate my life because I was being teased at school, all the things. I remember sitting in her house in this little corner, just really contemplating, like, if I kill myself, would it even matter? You know, if I did those things, would anybody really care? Because when you get to a point of being bullied a lot about your lips, about your height, about wearing dresses and stuff, and being the oddball kid, that stuff really bothers you. And then your self esteem ain't that good anyway. And then your mom tells you, yes, you're beautiful. I love you. You this, you that. And I understand what y'all are saying because our mom would tell us that same thing too. And then my thought was, you telling me this because I'm your daughter. You have to tell me this. You can't sit up and tell your kid that they ugly. You know what I'm saying? And so then,
what?
yeah, you hear me? And so then as I got older, honestly, and then I got into a relationship. And when I tell you, like my grandmother told me, I had 2 kids at this time. And she told me that you may as well get married and get that man's last name because ain't nobody gonna want you. And so I was like, okay, you know what I mean? So that right there was a whole knock too. And then when you are out here with these kids and you're pregnant and you're with people and different things like that, and then you learn different things about other women and stuff like that, and then you feel defeated because you're like, I've given all that I know to this person and this is what you do to me. And so then you start thinking in your head and in your mind, why am I never good enough? Why this? Why that? Why am I not cute enough? Why this? Why did God make me like this? Why did he do me this way? Why are my lips so big? And you start doing all those things. So when you tell me stuff like this, been there, done that. I've said it to myself. I've contemplated it in my head. I've done all of the things. Mom tells this story about her being 18 and with our brother, and she was going to go kill herself because my other's brother's father. He had went with someone else and left her being a single parent by herself with my brother, and she just didn't want to live anymore. And so she said that God spoke to her, who's going to take care of your kid, your son. And so I remember her saying that. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember how my mom felt, when she said that. And so then sometimes you talk yourself off a ledge and it's just like, do you really want to kill yourself? Do you really want, So I get it. I do. And being black women, honestly, black, brown, whoever else, whoever feels this way, y'all just don't know. I hear in this real world that we call life and work and stuff, people think that because you're black, you're not smart, that you're uneducated because you don't have as many titles behind your name as other people do. And they treat you as such sometimes. But you fight extra hard. You do all the things that you know you're supposed to do, and you go over and beyond because you know that this is how people see you sometimes. And that doesn't make you feel like you are part of anything, that you are loved or respected or anything like that. And so you have to feel that within yourself. And if you don't, you're going to crash and burn in this world.
And that's why we give it to y'all so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We try to tell you everything, that you're beautiful, that you're loved, that you're smart, and you're talented because you really are. And growing up in my house, my kids, whenever something was going on with them, because me and their dad, we're friends. We are not in a relationship at all, but we're definitely friends. So anytime I see something was going on with my girls, I'll be like, "Hey, you need to call them right now and see what's going on with them because they not." He's like, telling me I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. Well, you're gonna have to learn how to do those things. I understand when he was growing up, not making no excuses for anybody, but he didn't have, he had a mom and all that. They had love and different things, but everybody's relationship is different than how you grow up. So you try to not tell them, but educate them on how your children feel and what you should do to make them feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to do with my kids. And they would want to leave and, like Kaylin said, get mad at us and want to leave and go with their dad. And I'll let them go, and then they'll come back. Not even gone a day. They'll come back and they miss me. They
Yeah.
want to come
We
see
talking
my
about Taylor
mom
for
and
real.
whatever. But you just have to I don't know, not really teach somebody to how to treat you, but let them know how to treat you and what you will and will not allow, and just stay firm on what you believe and just like stay with it.
But you have
Don't
to know
ease
what
up.
that is first.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we out here in these streets and we continue to do the same thing over and over again. And we continue to accept the same thing over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result in layman's terms. And so that's just not how things go. So you got to change something. If there's something that you feel like you don't like, then change it. And
Use ChatGPT. Helps me go with my life.
so, and I just
Chat
feel like
GPT.
I just feel like you know, we've been there, done that. Y'all are not the only ones that felt that way. I don't know about Tammy, but I know that I've had those feelings, and I know that I've been there, done that. Been in a dark place. Thought I was ugly. People made me feel ugly. Told me that I was ugly, and so you deal with those things. And so you either believe it and you stay down, or you be like, hey. I may not be the prettiest girl out here in this world, but I got something to offer somebody. And I'm going to be good and we're going to keep on moving. And honestly, my kids were my number one go tos. When I thought about different things, I would be like, Lord, you're going to have to help me because in this season of my life, I don't know which way to turn. And so he would definitely help me. And then honestly, I would look at my kids and I'm like, I got to keep on pushing because number one, I have two boys. And boys, you know, they're rough,
Different.
they tough, they are different. But the one who really made me want to change the way that I did things was my daughter. She's a girl. You know what I'm saying? She's a
Right.
girl. You want people to treat your children, your daughter, especially with respect, all adoration and love and all the things. And so you have to change. If you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, you don't want to show that in front of your child, your daughter. You want her to see better. You want her to do better. You want her to be with somebody that is better, somebody to treat her with love and kindness and put her first. You know, not God. I mean, not before God, but I'm just saying, put her before like anything,
Just make
all
her a
the things.
priority.
Make her a
Yes.
total priority in your life. And so she was my one reason, honestly, for just doing what I do. Because boys, they are different, you know, and they can pretty much survive or whatever. And so they kind of pick up on things on their own, and you have to teach them the best way you can. But when you have a daughter, you have to
That's why I was
show.
like, I had to be a little hard on them. I had to do a little extra because I didn't want them to be like You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So you
you.
had to like push them extra just to let them know, hey, you don't need this, but it'll be nice to have these
Yeah,
things. You know
for
what I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure. I know we. Did anybody have anything else that you want to say? Because I don't want to be rude and cut people off.
No, I just think me and my dad, when you were talking, me and my dad, our relationship is okay too. I wanted to be better. I think we had our first heart to heart where I was crying and he was apologizing was like 2 years ago. And then you telling me his daddy issues. It's all just back to childhood trauma. And so I just try to lead by that when I'm talking to my dad. Like, okay, he needs somebody to talk to. Maybe he has this issue. So I try to look at things differently than how I used to look at it when I was a kid. Like, he don't want to do this for me. I don't want to talk to him. So
Yeah,
I try not to think like that. But it's just a work in progress for
I totally get
me and
it.
old Dante.
I hear you, and if I'm being honest as well, I think that sometimes as moms we get angry with our
Baby
children's
daddies.
fathers. Yes, because number one, we feel as if you know you could do more, you could say more, you can show more, and you know, and they need you. I can't do this by myself, but sometimes you have to just really stop and think. Maybe they're giving all of what they can because this is all that they know.
Right.
And so
That's what
then
she be telling us about him.
yeah, but honestly, sometimes I say that too, but then I'm like, because you had a good mama. You had a great, wonderful mother that showed you all the
Yeah.
love, all the affection to every last one of her kids, and she had over 10. So I do not, I believe that sometimes they give you what they have, but they have to try. And I think that as we get older, we try a little bit more because now we have grandchildren that we love. We want to be a part of their life. And I totally get that. So we can make all the excuses in the world that you're mad at me or whatever, but that's not what that is. We have children and we had to raise them and we had to be really good parents. Now, whether you like me or not, that's fine. I can sleep at night knowing that I've done the very best that I can with my kids and with my grandchildren. I'm okay with you being upset with me, but be upset with me for a reason that really matters and not because you think a certain thing. And so sometimes we got to allow grace. And maybe that's just what they know and how they show their love. I don't know. But I ain't got time. I'm too old for that. Now they're all grown and I don't worry about anything. I just make sure that they're good. So I'm not beating anybody up and this is not a crash out or a beat up session. Sometimes we get what all that they have. And that's okay if that's all you got. And if you're doing your very
But
best.
as long as you're trying.
Yeah. As long as you're trying and doing your best, and that's fine too. So before we leave today, we're gonna leave with some positives. We kind of went all over the world, babe. We went to Africa, Japan, over here, over in France, and all the things, and back
Back to
over here.
Vietnam,
There you go,
Texas, and
Vietnam, Texas,
decaf,
and back
baby.
here to Texarkana, Arkansas. So we're gonna leave with a positive on today. We're gonna start. Who did we start with last time? Tammy. Let's go ahead and start with Kaylyn. Let's let her leave us with a positive on today. Um, what about that girl, Kaylin, that's like you and has a few little daddy issues, but still making it, going through her own little traumas, trying to figure things out. Still, mom of two and getting ready to go to nursing school, all the things, and just give somebody a positive on today, sister.
I would just say self-confidence. It gets you a long way, especially within yourself, and just self-confidence. I don't know.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Trent? T Money.
I say for girls like me, dad and stuff like that, you gonna be all right. I just say keep pushing, go for what you want, don't stop, know what you want, don't keep your morals, keep boundaries, take you far, keep praying.
Okay.
Definitely keep praying. Know who you are, as I say all the time. Know what you want out of life and don't just settle for anything. Be great. Get the best.
Yeah, got you. Mine would be honestly, don't expect don't
Expect the-
no unrealistic expectations, okay? Sometimes you've been around a person long enough to know what to expect from a person. And if you know that this person is a $5 person, don't expect $100. That's unrealistic expectations. I understand there's hope there. There's all the things there. Sometimes what I'm trying to say is sometimes you got to take people at face value, at what they're showing you, what they're giving you, because sometimes this is all that they know. This is how they show their love. And if this is it and they're doing their best and you feel like they're doing their best, sometimes we got to show a little grace and just keep it going and be like, okay, this is what you're giving me. This is all that you can give me. And honestly, once we figure that part out, I think that we will be okay. But unrealistic expectations from people who show you constantly, every day, all the time, what they can give, what they're willing to give, don't expect anything more than that. Like self-confidence, keep your morals, don't give them up for anybody. Always, always, always be true to who you are and to yourself. All righty. Anybody else got anything else they want to say before we have the last benediction? We're good on today. All
Talk
right.
to your daddy.
Talk to your
Talk to
daddy.
your daddy.
There you go.
He got his issues for real.
T-Money said, talk to your daddy. Because sometimes we do have our issues. And also, moms, single moms, grown moms, young moms, whatever the case may be. 2 out of the 4 of us for sure have been in a place of darkness when it comes to our self-esteem, thoughts of suicide, different things like that. Honestly, that is not even an out. That's a selfish way to go. Let's just pray about it. Let's ask God for some guidance. I promise you, if you do those types of things, God's going to hear you. He's going to move. He's going to do all the things that he needs to do for you. So suicidal ideations, self-doubt, all those things, let's just push them to the side. They are real. I'm not going to say that they are not, but feelings are definitely real. But let's push them to the side because, honey, there is greatness in you and we are stronger together. Always, always, always. And if God can bring you to it, He's good, definitely going to bring you through it. Amen.
Amen.
Please seek help
Amen.
too.
All right. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and give us a thumbs up, share our content, tell everybody that you know, like it, comment on it, do all the things. We're definitely trying to grow our family on this side of the hill. And until the next time, guys, what we're going to do? Peace.